Siema, z tej strony Big Bad Dice. Gramy w Eternal Strands i mamy dwa questy ostatnie dodatkowe. Scout Journey. Musimy pobrać strand z przeciwnika, który jest pod wpływem miazmy. Musimy znaleźć pogodę miazma. Mamy, ale nie może być to arka. Nie może być to arka. Może przeczekamy, co? Gdzie ty się wspinasz, idiotko? No! Szalona jest! Niepoważna. No i niepoważna. Kurde. Dobra, zróbmy coś innego. A tutaj mamy pogaduszkę, tak? O! Już bez szat?
My light. I remember, and I know your mother. For all her flaws, she would be. I am.
Bryn and Lane, to what do I owe the pleasure?
We're hoping that there's something you can help us with. Or rather, we're hoping that there's something we can help you with.
I'm not sure I follow.
I've been at a loose end, gnawing on painful thoughts, only growing more despondent in the process.
Huh.
So we're here to focus on problems that are a little more tangible. What can we help you with?
That is very kind of you. I've had a great deal of difficulty keeping on top of things.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We're here to help. Like I said.
Right. I've got a petition from the scouts here somewhere. Arakim has been nagging me about accessing the Archon's hearth. Its stores of raw material could busy our forge masters for... Now that I'm technically in charge, I'm loath to follow Kenrick's lead in recklessly sending the scouts into dangerous... What I'm lacking to make that call is intelligence on the Archon's hearth. Our documentation...
I've already spent a lot of time in there, actually. It was pretty hot.
Dangerous too, one would assume. Can you elaborate?
While exploring where the arcs were assembled, I couldn't help but imagine how busy it must have been back before the surge. Archons seem big when I'm fighting them, but the scale feels totally different when they're attached to a scaffold.
Fascinating.
Well, it was only one area that was particularly hot, but all of it was dangerous.
I assume you refer to the Arcane Foundry, then?
Yeah. It was on another level to what you've got here at the Hold. Or what we have at camp. I can't imagine how many Archon parts they produced per day. The most interesting part was where they grew the coral. I could feel the magic running through it.
It is a reminder that there are still lost secrets to be found.
Exactly. Anyway, there's lots.
Not quite. I still have grave concerns about the fluctuating heat.
I believe I may have a solution, a potion that will maintain your body temperature even in the hottest
Wiesz,
conditions.
mam tą miksturę.
I don't quite have the equipment to make it yet, but
That's wonderful news. That said, I would like a demonstration to...
a fair stipulation. Some sort of combat encounter in the Archon's hearth under the hottest... Fighting an Archon that relies on fire magic would be ideal to
You know I'm always up for a challenge.
I have no doubt in your abilities.
Well then, I'll be back.
No, muszę poczekać. O!
And then the priest says, that's not how you extinguish the...
I thought you never extinguished the holy flame.
They make certain exceptions when it threatens centuries-old tapestries.
You never talked about your time in the church.
They're not happy memories.
No,
Then let's not fight again so I have more time to share.
that's unreasonable. Let's...
Of course, I love you.
I love you.
Słodziaczki. Jak nie lubię tej czerwonej aury w bazie. I wiecie, jak gorąco jest. O! Kurde, jego ciężko. Ale spróbujmy. Muszę spalić na głowie i zniszczyć wszystkie te
I'm with you, Bryn.
takie lodowe kolce.
Didn't expect the miasma to be so intense over the scry.
You get used to it. Just have to use a really gentle touch and feel the way it slides.
Dobra, mamy to. Stój! Kurwa, jak się on majta! No, to chuja, co to ma kurwa być? No kurwa, co jest z nim? Teleportuje się? Nowa zdolność? No kurwa! Do chuja, widzicie jak on kurwa biega? Co się kurwa stało z grą tą pierdoloną? Kółko, kółko, kółko. Kurwa mać! Tu jeszcze kryształ został, wszystkie już. Chyba, że jeszcze na podbródku. No, hej, kurwa! O, jest. Chuja, patrz, wyszedł? Coś dobrze działało, to twórcy postanowili to spierdolić? Kurwa mać!
Perfect for our study.
Ojej, po co te nerwy, Adix? Albo oni chyba tego robota próbują włączyć.
With the resonance comparisons, Dom.
Not doomed, no. But I have every reason to be concerned. Tangles that they're so common here in the Enclave makes it clear that this place is over. Have you ever blown into a bladder until it pops? I worry that's where we're...
No.
Ah. Well, I am from...
The patterns did show signs of change then.
Subtle but present. What was intriguing was watching them...
So things might recover if we could bring an end to the...
I think so. How exactly we pursue that agenda, I'm not sure. But we have set...
We have to tell the Axel though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mamy go zatłuc.
The Archon's hearth once more. Wish Isla was here to guide me.
I could assist in her absence.
What the?
Bryn, what's...
Aurea, the scry has been compromised by the Surgeborn. Stay off it.
Compromised is such a strong word. I just want to talk.
Hehe.
It is my region.
Like I've told.
Whatever plan concocted, let's work together.
Murdered my friend.
Technically, I didn't touch him. It isn't my fault to let the standard follow through on what she started.
To było proste. A, to w jedno i drugie muszę do niej iść, tak?
Both of you this time.
It is. We've identified a long-term risk to our people. A source of decay in our enchanted devices. And...
You have.
Yes, we... Wait. What?
Arakim, do you know how intense the competition to become Axel truly is? Even in our diminished state, it is ruthless. Each guild jockeying for its representative to be elevated. To win the seat, you need allies, knowledge.
You've been watching us this whole...
I have been watching you, Bryn. Yes. I have been judging Arakim.
Always a test.
What I have seen, your enthusiasm and energy has never been in question. But your judgment and initiative have often been rash. But in working with Bryn's band, I've seen you set goals, lead plans, move from asking permission to making your case, just as you came here to do, did you not? To lay out a set of clear steps we should take to preserve our new scries and keep our people safe?
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to do.
You should act on your recommendations with my complete support. I know you're not making them lightly, and they affect your people the most. So yes, it was a test. And as Khan, it will be the first of many.
You just said Khan.
I did. The scouts have been ignored for far too long, as we tried to pretend everything is as it was. Enough. Unless you disagree, Arik.
No. Not at all. We've been pushing for this forever.
Good. And you should thank Bryn when we're done. She raised a very salient point in our last chat that swept away the last of my hesitations. Now take a knee, would you? There's work to be done, and neither of us is really built for fancy ceremonies. If we have learned anything in the past while, it's that we, as a people, and yet we have not recognized them. And so I elevate you, Arakim Qatar. May your initiative and care...
Oh, Bryn, how did it go?
It worked amazingly. In fact, I was almost too cold.
Oh, I must have prepared it incorrectly. Perhaps too much stirring.
I'm kidding, Lane. It was perfect.
Your elevated wit eludes me once again.
If you two are done messing around, it's excellent to hear that the potions worked. Lane, what sort of quantities can we produce for the scouts?
As much as you need. It's not hard to make.
That's very good news. I wonder why the Eye never explored this as an option.
I would assume the reason sits somewhere between lack of... Speaking of the Eye, Bryn, The Axel and I had a chance to sit and talk for a... Would you believe that she isn't his biggest fan either?
There were some subtle context clues.
We were indeed not very cordial with each other at the best of times.
In particular, the way he kept secrets rubbed us both the wrong way. We found ourselves in agreement that any new government here should be built on a foundation of trust and respect.
A foundation that will only be built if we secure our survival. Lane and I don't agree on everything, but it was good to sit and speak with someone who understands the nature of the work.
It's not every day that one has the privilege of watching a new order emerge.
Perhaps you will be here to document.
I should like that very much. The story of a new enclave should be made available to all. If I'm struck with inspiration. I need to return to be here as it's being written. To be the one writing it.
Oh, they're gone.
Yes.
Well, with my mind at ease, for now, at least, I will thank you and bid you farewell.
We're here to help.
Zróbmy to. In Memories dokończmy, bo już nie skończyłem. Coś tu się jeszcze odblokuje, to zajrzyjmy. Szybko. Ale chyba nie. The bar sharped coin, the arcane forge. Arcane Foundry to samo co Arcane Forge, right? Znowu miazma? Oczywiście. Boss się odrodził, czy nie? Chyba nie.
Shaped coral. You and I have such similar taste in treasure. Whatever you're planning to do with that is nothing compared to what we could accomplish if we put our minds together.
I can manage well enough on my own.
You could do so much more than manage.
Co, już wszystko? To wszystko, co szukałem, tak? Wracamy.
The Surgeborn in the Howling Jail somehow has access to the scry.
We know. I can feel it in there with me. It's not pleasant. We need to do something fast.
The good news is, as far as we can tell, it only has access when you're in the underworks. At most, it seems to cause interference when you're above ground. We don't think it can listen in.
Until we can block its presence, best to keep use of the scry to a minimum.
Aurea, I could feel the Surgeborn too. I know exactly what you mean.
Doesn't feel great.
The kind of nausea that only comes from the wind being knocked out of you.
It takes a lot out of me to stay connected to you when it's present, let alone speak.
That must be why there's interference.
What you're both describing, it makes me wonder if the Eye was under a deeper influence from the Surgeborn than we realized.
How so?
We assumed he was merely manipulated into a foolhardy plan, but what if the Surgeborn had some sort of effect on his mind?
I could believe it. But if that's the case, then we need to limit Bryn's exposure to it through the scry. Fast.
And yours.
I don't think it's me the Surgeborn wants to influence. From the sounds of it, it wants you.
Weavers need a physical connection to the scry to communicate. The Surgeborn doesn't have either. So how is...
Well, let's start with what we know. The imprisoned Talon was able to convince Stanild to... But the Herald was there and waiting. It was not surprised at... Ergo, the Herald and Talon were communicating. Would it not be reasonable to... Or worse?
A single share.
The implications are... And...
All right.
The reason Aurea can sense the Surgeborn presence on the scry is likely because it's wielding magic to communicate. However, unlike Aurea, the Surgeborn can't pull...
But it can only reach me when...
Where the tangles are most dense. We need to cut off its access to...
That's where the spindle comes in. Thanks to her, we find...
Mogę jej pójść po prostu ubić? Przecież to wróg, morderca.
The arc...
Just like it did with the veil.
Exactly. But without the crushing weight that caused it to...
So, the plan. We get the arc to the source, it stabilizes the on...
Or at the very least, starts the...
If the Herald waiting down there doesn't destroy... I'll need to take it down.
That sounds dangerous.
It might be a risk worth taking.
We have to. The Enclave is overflowing with raw magic, and this... Too many tangles have led to the floods. Without the source under control, we will...
Then that's our plan. We build a power core, then...
I'll join you at Casa...
Co to mamy? Może zróbmy to do końca. A, tutaj tak.
And with this power core, we can fix our Arc of Verdance. I think this is what... Hey, I know things look bleak, but don't let the Talon rob you of it.
You're right.
I always am.
Najpierw ten zrobimy. Może ten, bo tamten brzmi tak już końcowo. Amos kanał.
See those massive pipes running along the roof? Norian design. I recognized them earlier, and they prompted my investigation into the Norians and the Enclave.
I can see why Stanild chose you as his lad.
Place, Bryn. You're looking for tablets. blank, but I'll be able to read them when you bring them back.
Why not bring them to me instead?
Pass.
O, jest coś.
That's one of them, Bryn. I hope they would still be down here.
What should we expect?
The Norians were experimenting without informing the Enclave on the airlifts. They wanted them to do more than just moderate the weather. They wanted to control it.
They got tired of long winters? Gloomy days?
Think bigger. If you control the rain in the desert, you control the land itself.
Too unreliable. Why not just offer incredible power and endless life to the rulers?
Tam tylko skrzynka będzie. Już byłem, tak? To?
That should be enough for us to piece their research together, Bryn.
Once has him running his errands, and lo, he is pleased.
Shush.
Will I be learning how Norians hide their information, Sev?
Yes. And if word gets out... It's a little bit... It's like reaching into the past and shaking hands with its designer.
I think she'd be happy to see it.
I think so. Plans set in motion decades ago.
I shouldn't be surprised the Norians. It's ingenious, really. It's like a
Medium.
Już mam dość trochę tych dialogów.
What did we learn?
As Sev expected, research on the aeroliths. It's a bit outside my speciality, so I passed it to Dam.
And how are we feeling about Sev's revelations?
It's not like I've never kept things from my friends, and I generally keep them from my but I don't keep them from the band. Anyway, Dam's waiting.
Lane said I should talk to you about the plates we found for Sev.
Perhaps you could walk with me? I have already passed my notes on. This conversation isn't... I wanted to ask...
Dobra, wy sobie słuchajcie, idę do toalety, bo mnie to nudzi. No, tyle posłuchali.
I can see how hard he's working to make amends. I just wish he'd told us up front. I understand he felt he couldn't, but we could have helped him through all this.
I agree, though I think the fault lies more with the Norians than Sev. From what he's told us, their entire culture is one of silence. If you're not in, then you are out, and there is no grey between.
Well, so long as he's in the band with us now, I'm good.
It gladdens me to hear it. Ultimately, I will say this. There was a time in my life I walked away from everything I held most important. Sev is handling it better than I did. He's not angry or bitter, he's just working through the problem. It's kind of you to help him. I'm sure he appreciates it more than he'll ever be able to say. So I'm saying it for him. Sev already has my notes. Good luck in your endeavors.
O, nawet ten się... A nie, dobrze jest. Myślałem, że się zaczął nagranie. Czekaj, coś miałem sprawdzić, zapomniałem co. A, Kinetic Strand jest napisane. Core, tak? Ja się zastanawiam. Nie, to nie jest to samo co tamte, tak? Pewnie na endgame'ie będzie można go powtórzyć, albo podczas przechodzenia kolejnych misji będę mógł zrobić.
Exciting news, Bryn.
You figured out how to clear the source?
Nothing quite that far along, but we are a step closer. As I suspected, the Norians were doing experiments not even Enclave leadership knew about. Not to just stabilize the weather, but directly control its extremes.
Which is pretty much what we're seeing the aeroliths do, here and now.
I honestly think that these experiments, left unattended, are the direct cause of the wild temperature changes. Likely contributed to the floods as well, though I suspect Asylum was the larger cause there. Regardless, if I can pick up where their research left off, we might have a solution to our problem at the source.
What did the Norians stand to gain controlling the weather anyway?
Their power base has always been in Taza, where the deserts need water to grow. Imagine being able to withhold rain or worsen heat at a whim. What kind of power would that give you? The kind the worst parts of the Order crave.
If we succeed, will we be able to stop the weather fluctuations entirely?
I hope so, in time. But the system for now, I want to focus on our immediate...
What will it take to move from might have a solution to...
The research you recovered focused on using patterns from creatures. It used those patterns to briefly...
Use flame magic to tilt the aerolith hotter for it?
Yes, exactly. And they had some success with it. Prove...
I can't believe I'm saying this, but... Too bad there aren't miasma creatures.
There's one, And Dharm already managed to recover some of its
But not enough?
Oh, absolutely enough. You've been working hard, and I needed an exquisite resonance from all three types of magic.
That's fantastic.
We're going to combine them with the Norian's notes, and I gave the design to Sola. She said it should be doable, but wants your approval on which materials to use.
If this could pull my asthma out of the source somehow?
It's the most promising lead I have, and it's very promising indeed.
I wonder what Lucia would make of our repairs to the Ark of Verdance. Not to mention its upcoming change.
That was one of the most complicated things we've ever collectively...
I hope it wasn't too much.
Not at all. The only tough part was Dharm hovering the entire time. He's enthralled with this device.
Oh, well,
I'm teasing you, Seth. I'm not sure if you'll still be my apprentice after all this, but I will...
No more learning to smith.
Now. I'm not saying that. Which brings me to the question of the hour. You were already a Norian. Why did you want to be my apprentice anyway?
Rambralem.
Oh! That makes so much more sense. You could have just told me.
That's a cultural thing for you, isn't it?
Oh, you know. But yes, Sola.
And they don't like...
No, they truly don't.
And this is your intricate doodad. I cannot wait to see what...
Ciepełko. Umarł czy nie? Bo jakiś lód wypadł. Umarł.
This aerolift should be perfect, Bryn.
O, tam coś na górze jest. A, tam, tak.
Done.
That's all we needed. The others have been helping me with a little project on the side. A surprise for you.
No hints.
You'll see.
Gdzie to ptaszysko? Mógłbym zatłuc je od razu. Dobranoc.
What has Seth been building?
A kontroler do pogody pewnie, co?
What's all this, big guy?
The culmination of all.
He wanted it to be a surprise.
Consider me impressed.
He hasn't told you?
As Casman said,
Sev, we all do better work with context.
Yeah. You're a weaver now.
It's the culmination of a Norian dream. But unlike them, no.
For...
Yes. It will take some resources, so let's be judicious, but yes.
So all those patterns I collected.
Critical to calibrating things. Weather and miasma alike. The creatures have been exposed to so many wild environmental swings. They were affected in ways I could use to calibrate to the aerolift's patterns.
And that's what Dom was helping with?
Everyone has helped Bryn. Literally everyone. No politics, no backstabbing. I could get used to this.
Good. All that stuff wastes time and energy.
Well, this is incredible. What's involved with actually making it happen?
It's... well, it's not simple for me. But for you, I'll keep it simple. If we want to make it, the aerolifts are all connected. And the device we created will let me give them a... let's call it a shove for a day or so.
We've run some limited tests, and everything holds up. It's really rather
And we'll give you quite the edge. Imagine tossing a drought when a frost creature is hunting.
It can affect miasma, too, yes?
Yes, it can. Which is if we can clear you a path somehow to the source. We know the Ark of Verdance should be able to give you a clear workspace.
For machinery repair and herald elimination alike.
Exactly. Now you need to find a way to reach the source. And I need to find a way to...
Tyle. Eloric. Zmiany pogody.
You look like you've got something
Struggling a little, perhaps.
between Casman's stews and Darn's spiced.
Pork. That aside, I find myself both wanting to tear down. Surely not everything they did was self-serving politics. There had...
That's the part of Norian-ness.
experiments to improve flow rates across...
Better pipes.
Pretty much. The team was working on it right around the time.
Any idea where?
Not too far from here. Odd they'd set up in a swamp, but perhaps it was a stress.
We're going to have to fix the Enclave eventually. Better pipes can't...
You are tireless.
I wouldn't say tireless. Just
You're right. I know.
Drogo. Powinno starczyć. Nic się nie zmieniło. Home sweet home. Spoko, zmieniacz pogody. O. Warriors Battle Cry. Patrzcie, tu jeden, tu jeden. Tu 9 aż. Może jeszcze jakiś quest będzie. Nie wiem, czy jest fabularna, czy nie jest fabularna? Jak to wygląda? Dobra, my kończymy. Dzięki, że oglądaliście. Słyszymy się jutro. Cześć.